Hello and welcome. My name is Shelby Powers, and this presentation will provide a brief overview of the promises our educational system has failed to provide to all children, as well as offer some potential solutions for us as educators moving forward. Robert Evans once said that broken vows are like broken mirrors. They leave those who held to them staring at fractured images of themselves. Our educational system has made promises for many years that no child will be left behind and that every student will attain educational success in the United States if they just work hard. We know that for countless students, those promises have been broken. There are huge disparities in discipline systems, teacher effectiveness, curriculum relevancy, and the allocation of resources, among other things, that have contributed to a widening achievement gap for not only people of different cultures and races, but of different classes as well. Throughout this 5-week course, we've had the opportunity to reflect and share some of our personal experiences with each other. Many peers discussed the influence privilege had on their educational upbringing. I personally shared about receiving special school services to overcome learning disabilities in both math and speech. My mom worked very hard with the school to ensure that I was given those extra resources to make sure that I could get caught up and back on grade level by the time I left 8th grade. And unfortunately, this is something that doesn't happen in all schools and doesn't happen for all students who are diagnosed with those same learning disabilities. Paul Prince shared about the influence his family economic status had on allowing him several different excellent schools to choose from as a young student. Tamara Sampson also benefited from the opportunity to attend a magnet school for the gifted and talented because of and with the support and advocacy of her mother. These privileges helped us to get to this shared moment. And when we look at our classrooms, we realize that many of our students are not afforded the same opportunities or privilege, partly because of their race, culture, or their class. To meet the needs of our diverse learners, we need to first understand and appreciate the diversity in our classrooms. Diversity is a mix of many factors, not just race as is often thought. In her 2000 article, Kathleen Trail recognizes that the metaphoric melting pot is an inaccurate description for the U.S. today. Instead, she aptly uses the term cultural mosaic instead. Knowing that our students have varying cultures, races, languages, personal experience, and interests is part of what makes the challenge of teaching so unique and rewarding. So how do we deliver on our promise of providing every student with equitable opportunities, knowing that these diverse needs exist in our classrooms? Several solutions have presented themselves through our discussions, one being the elimination of tracking systems, another being the development of school leadership, and then also increasing teacher effectiveness, which is an area that I believe can provide the largest impact in our students' education. One way of increasing teacher effectiveness is through the integration of culturally relevant pedagogy, also known as culturally responsive pedagogy, or just good teaching, as Gloria Ladson-Billings refers to it in her article on just good teaching, developing culturally relevant pedagogy. Culturally relevant pedagogy involves 3 key ideas. The first being helping students experience academic success. The second being helping them work to develop or maintain their cultural competency. And then also helping students develop a critical consciousness about the world around them and the status quo. Ladson-Billings goes on to say that culturally relevant pedagogy uses the student's culture to help them create meaning and understand the world around them. We can't view differences as deficits. Instead, we need to help students understand how their culture and their unique perspective lends to the world around them. So the question then naturally arises, how do we develop culturally relevant pedagogy in teachers? In 2010, Milner suggested that teachers who practice culturally relevant pedagogy do so because it is consistent with what they believe and who they are, indicating the importance of understanding and knowing teacher beliefs and values. Ladson-Billings agrees as she says that the strategies are less about what we do and more about how we think. Let us look at some examples of culturally relevant and responsive teaching and practice to determine what those teacher beliefs and values are and how they become important. This is a video clip of Harriet Ball, a teacher from an urban inner city school, and how she gets kids to learn about their units in mathematics and science.
Like the leader. Come on, that's a call for fire. Not 2 liters, but 1 liter. And a milliliter, and a half the milliliter, and a kilogram, it is a tablespoon. The kilogram, it is a tablespoon. And the gram, it is a paperclip for 1 raisin on my lip. There you go. And the milligram, it is a grain of sand. The milligram, it is a grain of sand. It doesn't matter how long or short it is. How short, too short to roll rice. Or trip around the world, skating on ice. It doesn't matter how heavy it is. Well, how heavy can you get it? Heavy is a grain of sand. On my math book that I left on the and like the back of mine, I understand. I'm not too proud to that I know how to. So ask us this out there.
I chose this video of Miss Ball teaching not because I think you need to create raps to relate to students of color. In fact, Jacqueline Irvin in 2010 warns teachers of using pop culture and slang as a means of integrating culturally responsive teaching because it can appear awkward and forced if not in tune with that teacher's personality and demeanor. I chose this video because what I think is very evident is the way Miss Ball connects with her students, very conscientiously using joy as a way to relate and invest. The lyrics of the song help make the math matter, which is, I believe, important for developing good teaching. As I mentioned, not all teachers will want to or be able to use this type of method. In her book, The Dream Keepers, Ladson-Billings profiles Margaret Rossi, an algebra teacher, who works to build a sense of urgency in her math through context and uses opportunities for discussion and encouragement as a means of connecting with her kids. In 2010, Milner similarly profiles a science teacher known as Mr. Hall, who uses relationships to reach students as well. He builds a culture of community by providing multiple opportunities for success as opposed to office referrals, insisting instead that students can, quote, get it right next time. What is evident in all 3 of these examples are the shared foundational components to creating high-achieving, culturally sensitive classrooms with very high expectations. Those tenets, also identified by Ladson-Billings, include knowing students and working to build relationships with them, working to create classroom environments that are physically inviting and welcoming and joyful to be in, creating dialogue and discussions through conversations that speak to and with students, not at them, and then above all, they create a culture of collaboration and trust and respect within their classroom. Focusing on these key areas can help empower students to increase ownership of their learning, embrace both their similarities and their differences, and help them experience success as learners, one of the key components to a culturally relevant pedagogy that Ladson-Billings mentions. The reciprocated trust and respect provides a learning environment where students are prepared for and encouraged to take risks. These lessons translate not only into higher achievement levels for students, but work to ensure the promises we make to students can remain unbroken and then stronger for future generations. It is not a right, it is a privilege to walk into our classrooms and teach our students every day. And as such a privilege, we need to make sure that we are doing everything in our capacity to make sure that we are meeting the needs of every student that walks through our door. Developing ourselves as culturally sensitive, relevant, pedagogical teachers is one way of ensuring that we're able to do that. Thank you.